buddy Marcus Cardona. I thought
he's back.
He's
I'm
alive.
a regular now. Three times.
Woo!
Repeat, dog.
Fuck yeah, man. I'll remember you, Marcus.
What's up?
Yeah. Dude, well, I'm listening to a book called Dawn of the Code War. I just started it this morning. It's all just about, like ISIS and Al-Qaeda evolving to like use social media and like how they would even post pictures of them holding cats because even ISIS knew that cat memes are hot. And, but they're talking about like how like Saudi Arabian men have those like checkered, fucking not hijabs or what I'm talking about. They're
like male hijabs.
Yeah. They're saying like the terrorists would. I mean, I'm white and live in America, so it all looks the same to me. But apparently, there's a big difference. But the terrorists would use those to blend in. For some reason, when you move that like towel or shirt from behind you right before I started recording, for whatever reason, I was like, oh my God, Marcus is an ISIS terrorist.
Hey, yo, it's cool, dog. It's fine. I figured it out. So let's see. Men hijab, because I want to Google this. I think it's called a shamaj.
Dude, I mean,
it's a scarf, but so
they look hella comfortable, man. They look cozy.
They're also like part of the turban because I'm like, there's the turbans, which is the one that you wrap around the head, and then the hijab is the full on like face cover for like the wife.
Yeah. There's like different tiers of that too. The ones in like Dubai, just those like billionaires that in like Burj Khalifa, that like 200-story tower, they'll get out of their Mercedes and they've all got like designer robes.
Yeah, well, they have like the ones that are just like the full on like oil like tycoon look.
Yeah.
They have, and then like turbans are completely different because like there's like the Muslim turban and then there's like the Sikh turban, which is the one that's like the perfectly like
Sikh
rounded
turban.
Like
Sikh turban.
No, that one looks like that's like the Sultan's hat.
That one's
like
badass. That one's badass. Sikh turban's cool. It's but man, they always look fucking fresh. They'll post on like be them standing in front of like a like a fucking platinum coated Rolls Royce Phantom.
They're in Dubai, and then that's always like silk because that's like that's the one weird thing about like every other like culture is that we got obsessed with cotton because we profited off of it, and everyone else silk and all these other fabrics, and then because I'm like, dude, no, I feel like everyone kind of is like, oh man, you wear like silk underwear. I'm like, yeah, because silk is way better than cotton. What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude, I had some silk. I had some silk boxers in college. Yeah, people kind of poke fun at them. Like, have you ever put these on? Have you ever worn silk on your genitals? Holy shit!
Silk is one of those.
Silk is superior. Silk is superior.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. It's the Silk Road. Yeah, it's. Yeah, dude, it's. The shit. I mean, I always just think like, man, if you just went commando under those, I bet that feels great. Those robes, just walking around, just, like, balls out. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if like because it's a completely it's not cotton. Silk is completely different fabric. Yeah. I'm just like wondering because like hotels they're like dependent on like thread count or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like I've never like thought about it, but I'm like, what is like a high thread count silk? Because I've never I've just bought silk.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, is there more comfortable silk?
Maybe let's look that up, man. Okay. Maybe there are tiers of silk. Yeah, because you're right. Because it's always like sheets at like it's like fucking the presidential room or whatever, or like the Continental, whatever the name of the really good rooms are.
Continental, hotels.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just like the cheapest hotels with their continental breakfast and watery eggs.
Well, I was gonna say I was trying to think of a name but I realized I've never been in one, so it's just like I gotta just rattle some fake shit off.
You never went to a cheap hotel, not even for like a casual hookup where you're just like, I can't bring.
No, what I mean is I've only been to cheap hotels. I've never been to like
like the prestige
I went to one in New York City with my friends from Valdosta. We went New Year's Eve 2012. We stayed at Times Square. Our friend's dad had like 100 trillion like Delta miles. And we got a free room. So
that's one of those fancy.
That wasn't even that fancy.
Hotels.
It was just that we could look down, and I remember we could look down and see Wiz Khalifa on Times Square.
You're like, I own you.
It was just, that was cool, but that was location. The room wasn't anything special. There was like 8 of us in 2 rooms. It was disgusting. Yeah, it was. No, I've never been to like a really. Yeah, I guess that's real money. if you can throw it away on just not even like, it's one thing if you throw away money on like some nice silk pants, but like a hotel room is like, you don't even get to keep it. Like you get to have it for a day. So no, to answer your question. But yeah, it's always like thread count. You're right. It's like Egyptian cotton, like 600 count, 900 count. I'm guessing it becomes closer and closer to silk, right? The more thread count, it's like the higher resolution.
I'm like, if I had like, I have to do like a blind test where it's like a low count silk or low thread count silk and then a high thread count cotton and be like, all right, is there a level that it equals out?
The Cardona line.
Dude, I'm curious. That's a weird thought that we got into. But hey, what a great way to start a podcast.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm invested now. Silk thread count. Silk thread count. Okay. Let's see. Normally, silk has a thread count of 3. So there are thread counts. 400 is a luxury. 3 to 3.
So it's a peak.
3 to 350 is the usual. 400 is luxury. 600 and then 750. If you're insisting on impression.
This just sounds like credit scores, man. I'm just like, how does it not? It never goes below 350.
It just sounds. Yeah, no, it sounds like the same bullshit marketing. Like, you get the new iPhone, okay, or do you want the XS? Well, what's that? Well, that's not the same as the Max. Well, what's that? Well, that's not the Pro. Fuck! Oh, god damn it! All right, I guess I need it. Yeah. It's thread count. It's
you gotta know what thread counts are, dog.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Dude. That's that or like a Japanese, maybe that was like a kimono. If I ever get to the
silk kimonos are the shit, dog. Like I don't know, but it depends on comfort. If you just want like a nice silky covering, because I don't know, if I'm ever wearing a kimono, it's just like it feels like I'm just like constantly preparing for sex, and I'm just like, all right. While if I'm in like a nice wool robe, then I'm just like, there's no sex happening. I'm very comfortable.
Yeah, very Ron Burgundy. very dapper. Maybe like a glass of whiskey neat, cigar. Yeah.
Cigar, or just like getting cozy. Like that's like one that, like, I feel like wool. I feel like I can't get like turned on while wearing wool because it's just associated with with Christmas. And,
like, camp. It's snowing. Yeah, northern Maine, northern New Hampshire. I'm like, there's no sex to be had. I must keep this pure. If you're wearing like a cotton robe, then I think it's like a rule that like within eyesight there are antlers, right, on a wall or something.
Santa's watching. I can't have sex.
Yeah.
Let me switch it to my kimono.
Yeah. At least one of the walls has to have logs. Yeah, that's You get kimono. That's different. Now it's like,
if I switch over to a kimono from my wool robe, I'm like, it's on.
Okay,
but if I'm in my wool robe, I'm like, I want to talk to my mom. Get away from me.
Yeah. I want to have like a glass of like, sinner. Get away from me. I'm playing with like nephews and nieces, and I'm like, there's a dog around me.
These are only cheerful memories. I don't want to be hurt.
Do not tempt me, heathen. Be gone, Satan. Get away with your fucking no. Kimono is definitely for cocks. All right, you're getting ready. Wool robe is definitely for relaxing. Robe, relax, kimono, cocks. I think it's that.
Okay. That's a good association.
I think that is. I think that when I become dictator, that will be a new rule. But kimonos, I feel like you could wear those. I feel like you could wear those even if you were in like the tropics. I'm thinking like a nice hotel room, not that I've ever been, but in like French Polynesia. Get the doors open, wind's coming through in the evening, wearing kimonos. Yeah, maybe like a nice bottle of like rosé or something. I don't know. I'll never have that money. Knock on wood.
Hey, no, dude. Hey, you can still have that. It could be a nice bottle of cheap rosé. Still great. There's still great boxed wine rosés. Yeah, live your life, Tommy.
Hey, dude, I work at a liquor store, man. I don't judge people on what they drink. What's the difference between this and this? Both get you fucked up. One costs 4 times as much. It's the same molecules going across the blood-brain barrier.
And it's in a box.
Yeah. It's always funny because there's good wines where like it doesn't matter when you're like stocking the shelves. It's just like it doesn't matter. It's ball and wine. It's like $200 wine. But then there's box wine where it's like, make sure the oldest ones come up because they're going to turn to vinegar very quickly, like within a matter of like weeks. Yeah. Doesn't Post Malone have a rosé?
It probably, man, dude. I feel like once you're at a certain level,
You can
like
just make shit.
you have like the liquor, you have the liquor sponsorship where you have money, and then you have like the I could definitely get away with pedophilia money. So I'm like, that's a
different tier of money, because you're right. Because none of these people are known for liquor. There's a Post Malone at the liquor store. There's a Post Malone rosé. There is a Ryan Reynolds gin. The Rock has tequila. Snoop Dogg has a wine.
McGregor has his whiskey.
Yeah. At a certain point, you're just diversifying your portfolio.
Shaquille O'Neal has his Shaq juice, which is non-alcoholic.
Shaq juice. Yeah, it's like At a certain point, it's just, I feel like you're just diversifying, right?
Yeah. No, you're just trying to branch out in all your different franchises.
Exactly. So if one crashes, you're still all right. Well, you still got the liquor sales.
But also you have like the crazy like super fan, someone who has like like someone who lives your lifestyle. Okay. He drinks your liquor.
Okay.
He wears your Calvin Kleins and all that stuff.
Hey man, they keep the wallet full.
Dude, have you watched any of these like YouTube like workout videos where someone does like the workout of like a celebrity, like a routine? Oh man, those ones are crazy because some of them are like legit. And then one of the more interesting ones was I watched was a guy does like the day of Zac Efron while he was doing Baywatch, like when he was like super like jack ripped and stuff like that. And that one was crazy because he to maintain that body shape, like he worked out a bunch, but the diet was just so bland. Because I was just like, it's unseasoned chicken, broccoli, just pure vegetables.
Yeah. Hey man, it's inversely related.
Well, dude, the Rock, he has his like diet, and
the Rock doesn't count as a human.
Dude, he eats pancakes.
He's not a real human. All right, dude. The Rock, he's not real. He is a different tier of productivity. I saw some clip the other day and it was like the drunkest Rogan's been on his podcast. And I stopped regularly watching Joe Rogan a couple of years ago, but the clip was fucking hilarious. It was just like a super cut, but it was him, and it was like, have you ever noticed how whenever he gets drunk he brings up The Rock? But it showed him he was like super drunk. He was like, just give the reins to The Rock. The Rock needs to run the country. Make The Rock president. We're all gonna be doing sit-ups together. We're gonna get out of this. He's just like, I don't know, man. I'd vote for The Rock.
You could do Joe Rogan's daily lifestyle. You just need to eat elk, sit in the podcast booth, do that weird UV ray, like heat sauna that he does.
I don't know, man. You gotta have money.
My uncle has a UV ray sauna, and I have a crossbow now, so I'm like, we're just gonna cross over.
You're slowly evolving to
I could do a Joe Rogan day. I could completely do that. That's completely plausible.
Oh, I think you could. Yeah, just goddamn, that would be nice.
You have to smoke weed, eat elk. You have to do the sauna, do the podcast, work out with kettlebells constantly. Because I'm just at least like that's what like even though I kind of hate on Joe Rogan, I'm like his lifestyle is like pretty good. I was like, oh,
he
cool.
Kills
he hunts his own food.
He kills it. Yeah, like. It's definitely easy to make fun of him, but like if you go back to like I look at like such a hipster when I first started listening to him like 2011, he was like a very positive influence in my life, like no bullshit. Like I remember because I was like before that, this is when I was like psychopath pre-med, like just like killing anyone on my way, metaphorically of course. But I remember like listening to him, and I was like, here's this guy like spouting like being kind to others, but it wasn't like a hippie in a kimono. It was like, oh, here's Joe. Here's someone I identify with. This is like me when I was hulking meathead. I was like, oh, here's this guy that can kill anyone, but here he is going, hey, it's cool to be cool to people. He was definitely a positive influence in my life. So
yeah, dude. I mean, yeah,
he's easy to hate on. Your biggest target.
He went the spiritual route, and then he got money, and then now he has to, plug his endorsements.
I get it, man. So, I get it. Yeah. It's a necessary evil. It's very easy to. Yeah, it's very easy to. Like,
you can't just be a good role model and pay the bills.
Yeah, no. The universe is programmed that doesn't work.
Yeah.
You can't mix water and oil. The universe is programmed at a base level. That if you're good enough, you're gonna be killed. Like Bill Hicks, right?
Yeah.
Gandhi killed. Jesus killed. Reagan wounded. Yeah.
Dude, have you been watching? Do you watch like the Umbrella Academy?
I don't know what that is.
Oh man, that's a new thing on Netflix. But like the season 2, like the pivotal like topic or thing that the season 2 kind of revolves around is the Kennedy assassination, and I'm just like, shit.
Oh fuck, dude, that's a hairy one.
Dude, that's still like the. Dude, I'm like, are we allowed to talk about assassinations? Because I'm just like,
It's that one will never
legally.
be.
I'm just like, are we gonna? If I talk about assassinations, are we gonna go on a list?
Yeah, well, we're already on a list. If you've been on this podcast, dude, yesterday I had on EOD Tech, Explosive Ordnance Disposal, ex-military guy who did stuff with the Secret Service, Will Ely. We talked about fucking making bombs yesterday, straight up, like. Go to Home Depot, what you need to get. We talked about LAX. We talked about Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta. We talked about how you would roll up and just shoot up the crowd during the holidays.
I'm so glad to be on this podcast.
Hey, you're on a list, man. Wait, smile and wave. I always say that there's like the listed views on YouTube, and then I know I got some FBI viewers who are just like...
rename this the Anarchist Cookbook Podcast.
Well, that's what he was talking about. We were talking about Anarchist Cookbook yesterday. Yes, I know I got an FBI agent, and I hope he loves the show. Watch Agent X. Shout out, brother. I know you ever want to come on. Yeah, subscribe. You ever want to come on here? Yeah. I think it was... when Rogan had Snowden on, whatever chat they were using.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that he's definitely on the list for that. But that's also like if Snowden, like, you know, released any information on a podcast, which is probably going to happen. Eventually, I was doing a joke about how the truth to power is going to be a podcast, and I'm like, that's what it's going to be. I'm like, someone's going to say truth to power, and it's going to be a podcast. That's how the world is going to shape into
what Snowden?
A weird Black Mirror situation.
Yeah, it's. Well, I remember when Rogan had him on, whatever they were using, maybe Zoom or whatever. You can see it's like early on in the video. They're like, it's like, you know, because right now I can look and it says like Marcus Cardona, and there we go, and I'm on the right, Tommy. But I guess when he was doing this one with Snowden, like at some point it kind of blipped and it said there were 3 guests. And Snowden was like, that's the boys at the NSA. Like, smile and wave. They're here.
Classic.
They're here. They're listening. Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe you... Well, dude, I remember in Maine, I think it was me and... it might have been Josh Mangin. Maybe Harper.
Josh Mangin.
Josh Mangin, yeah. I remember...
Joe Harper.
Yeah.
The legends.
Happa, yeah. I remember one time it was before it was the night before a track meet, and it was me, Josh Mangin, and Kyle Turcotte, and we were playing like Call of Duty at Mangin's dad's house. And I remember it was like 3 a.m, and we just like were like making phone calls to each other like 3 feet apart, because that's what cool 17-year-olds do. But I remember we were just reading off the names of like cities and weapons. we were just like just to see if it'd get flagged. I've always wondered if that worked, if it got picked up.
Casual. Well, I mean, I think you just go into like a tiered system, like you're a high priority target to just like investigate into.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's kind of like C-list celebrity. I'm like, no one cares what this person's talking about.
Yeah, they don't give a shit, man. Like, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably tiered. It gets to me and it's like, all right, well, he's white. Okay, you went to a Catholic school. All right, there's another strike against him. He's fine. Leave him alone. He's white, blue eyes. He
has this comedian who talks about aliens and conspiracy theories all the time.
Well, I don't know. That comedian's got darker skin now. See, the white guy has the American flag, but this one, do we know his name's Marcus?
I just got a compound bow.
Yeah, Marcus, are you sure it's not Muhammad? You know, look into that guy.
Check into my birth certificate.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It says parts unknown.
Yeah, parts unknown. All right, boys, send him in. You leave the white guy alone. The white guy with the American flag and the blue eyes. He's good. Sig Heil, all right? That was a joke. That was a Nazi joke. I don't want anyone taking that out of context. But yeah, dude. I don't know, man. It seems like it's kind of ratcheting up. Do you see that thing where there might be like a solar flare?
Oh, are we talking about so now we're talking about environmental. I'm like behind like the ready for the general strike and whatnot. Oh,
there's a general strike coming? Dude, I don't know. I'm just whatever the fuck we want. What do you want?
But yeah, the solar flare. I mean, I've already seen. I mean, there's already like the weird environmental stuff going on. Like New York is subtropical. There was like there's going to be more hurricanes this year than any other year. There's great white sharks in Maine. That's how weird it got, environmentally.
Jesus.
So I'm just like, at least it's not California. California is just like been on fire forever, and every time it gets worse. I forgot what park it was, but a national park in California. Like I think that's gone now. So I'm just like, shit. I'm just
gone.
Oh yeah, it burned down. Like there's like photos of the like welcome center from like a year ago, and then like today, and it was just like to ashes and stuff like that. I'm just like, well, I'm glad I never settled down in California, but I'm just also like, who's still staying out there?
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think it was Tim Dillon that said on Joe Rogan. Rogan's like, why is all this stuff happening in California? He's like, well, Joe, it's the wrath of a vengeful God. He's like, let's call it what it is. He's like,
now, end times. I've looked, dude. Have you ever read into like how the world is supposed to end? Because I read them.
Dude, I love conspiracies. I'm not. I just.
No, this isn't even conspiracy theories. This is like a book of Revelation.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what. Yeah. Right now, I'm just now getting into like the pyramids. I was on a UFO stint for like 2 years. Now,
I mean, bring it back, man. UFOs are real. There's a Pentagon team that does research now.
There absolutely is, and it's declassified. That's the thing about it, is like they're releasing the forward-looking infrared video of that shit. They have multiple. They have multiple groups. ATIP, OSAP, like. This shit is...
Yo, I want them to bring back all the supernatural teams that they had during World War II.
Dude, there's a book called Phenomena by Annie Jacobson, and it's all about CIA investigations into ESB during the Cold War.
Oh, man.
They like straight up quantified that shit.
That's like the men who stare at goats stuff, right?
Yeah, but no, they like straight up like quantified this shit. They were like... And most of it's still classified. Ostensibly because they found some value to it. But like weird shit, man. Like putting a guy in one room, and then they had these things that they used to detect neutrinos, some massless particle. But they'd have these like things they'd put like 1,000 feet underground, and they'd be sitting in these weird pools of water. And we still use them. It's for some astrophysics shit. I don't know. But because of that, they're so far underground that like you can't. The reason why they pick up neutrinos is because they blot out everything else. Nothing can reach it. And then they had this, they told the guy to like think about it or focus on it. And he started like fucking like switching the dial on it. This thing was like 1,000 feet below in concrete. And they were like, what the fuck is this? So there was a whole, dude, they dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into this shit. Like,
damn, son.
Yeah, man. I don't know. How do you think that it can, I don't know. How is the world supposed to end? What is Revelation saying?
Oh man, I mean, Revelations is still right? Like without it being too scientific, it's like the sky will be on fire and like rain down. And
that's a given. Well, that's a given. Come on,
climate change. Oh, I say the ozone breaks down, and then it's just like
that's too broad. That's too broad. The sky's on fire. That's the most generic end of the world ever. Sky's on fire. I mean, no, you don't get credit for that. Revelations. Anyone can make up that.
Well, I still like every time I rewatch it, it's always like the day after tomorrow, where I'm ready for like the ocean to come take me, and then because I'm like, rising waters, like everyone thinks it's gonna just be like slowly, and I'm just like, there's gonna be like one iceberg that like breaks down at the same time. There's gonna be a hurricane, and it's gonna just
some perfect storm. Yeah,
dude. Well, I'm still worried, dude. I'm still worried about that weird in Day After Tomorrow, like the sudden like second ice storm or ice age.
Oh, where it happens like that.
Yeah, like the instantaneous, like the American flag is waving, and also it just like freezes.
Yeah, like the helicopters are flying, and they just like they shut down,
dude.
It happens quick. If it just happens quick.
Dude, that movie is shaped so much about who I would ally with.
I love that movie.
Like, friends with scientists, people with weapons, just in case we have to fight wolves. And then one homeless guy who's like, hey, you got to crumple up newspaper and put it in your jacket. Insulation. Yeah. And I'm just like, fuck. Yeah. Like, so good.
The black guy with the dog. Yeah.
That's the homeless guy that had the street knowledge about surviving.
He knew how to survive. Yeah. That was... No, see, for me, when I think about the end of the world, I don't know. I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. How do you think that it can? I don't know. to me, I'm just like, dog, give me a belt. Give me something to asphyxiate myself because I don't want to be here.
Oh, man, you're good.
That's how I am, dude. I'm like, I don't want to be here for that.
You're going to be the guy, like, someone, like, someone's, like, raiding your survival house.
Yeah,
and then
find
there's
me,
the gun next to your hand and be like, I'm sorry, in blood.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you find all my kids drowned in a bathtub.
We're just like, shit, man. And, like, at least this guy had good taste in ramen and you just
you're welcome, bud. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm not because unless you're a president or a billionaire, the bunkers, listen, if you can get a bunker with enough people, enough women, if you can have a whole fucking like harem of women and you can have like 100 years of food, a doctor, and then just like 200,000 gallons of like Hennessy and weed and pills. If you can just go into like some bliss-induced coma, just fucking and doing drugs until you die, that's worth it. Yeah. But aside from that, dude, why would you even want... If you... surviving itself would be hell, but what are you even surviving for? In a radiated wasteland of ice and fire? Why the fuck would you... Why would you do that?
That's fair. Who was it? Sam J. She had a Netflix special 3 a.m, and she talked about how she's like, if she's in a plane, she just wants to die with the plane. She doesn't want to be the person who survives on the one wing in the ocean.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that, dude. That's what I always think. Was it Ron White who's like, man, he's like, you don't want to survive a plane crash. If the pilot's like, hey, the engine's sputtering out, he's like, hey, put it into a mountain. Like, I don't want to limp away from this bitch. Like,
yeah, dude. Well, yes. I mean, if you can go for an instantaneous death and know that everything around you is crumbling, I mean, go for it. But because I'm like, at the same time, it's just like, if you do survive, I don't know. I think it's something in me that I try to
the
survive.
Human spirit. Yeah, I would imagine. I had a guy on the other day, Joe Tedai, who was in a CIA unit called the Special Activities Division that he can't legally acknowledge, but that's the division that the game Black Ops is about. Special Activities Division. It's the tip of the tip of the tip. Just the tip. But he talks about how he was in like an evade and escape, like a mission went wrong and they're in Afghanistan. It was him and another guy, and they were evading militants for 77 hours, and they were exhausted, they were out of water, barely had any ammunition, and what the guy he was with, who was like a seasoned Delta Force operator, and at one point on like day like 3, he was like, hey, like, how much ammo do you have? And he's like, I got like a mag. And he was like, no, like, count how much ammo you have. And so he like opened it up. He was like, all right, I got 7 rounds and I got 1 in the chamber. And he goes, put one of them in your pocket. And he was like, okay. And he was obviously they survived.
Yeah.
But afterwards, he looked back and he was like, oh, this guy was saying you don't want to be captured. If it comes down to it, he was like, save one for yourself. And it was like, because they'll behead you, they'll skin you alive. And but kind of what you were talking about. He said, he's like, I don't know if I could do that. He's like, I think it's just the human spirit in me, like almost involuntary, right? You would try to survive. Like I talk about, I would just fucking hang myself. But the reality is even if there was like a tidal wave and all of Maryland's on fire, I think at a certain point it would almost become unconscious. You would just try to survive. It would just be survival instinct. I don't know, man. What about if you're in the middle of the ocean, Marcus? You're on a plane. You're going to London.
Dude, middle of the ocean. That's a
different.
weird one because, I'd try, dude. I mean, that's a scary one because I'm like, you're gonna die of basically. Well, you're gonna get dehydrated because you're gonna have no seawater, which is gonna be. It's a weird one because I forget what it is. It's because it's like an osmosis that happens if you're in submerged. That much water without new water coming in. Because if you drink the seawater, it'll
kill you
because you're surrounded by seawater and stuff like that. Because because it's not like, at least like Life of Pi. If you have like a floating object that you can be on top
I'm talking about you're just floating.
Yeah. Because if you're open water, I'm like, that's hard because you're like. You're gonna also get like eventually
the worst sunburn of your life.
You'll get tired.
The worst sunburn humanly imaginable.
Yeah, you're gonna get sunburned while being tired, while the ocean is around you, and the best you can hope for is a big animal to grab you.
That's the worst, dude. That's the worst though, because you can't look under. everything you feel, every little brush of water.
You're freaking out.
I would probably die of a panic attack. I would die of a panic attack because I would just imagine some big 30-foot leathery monster just, and it's just, and under you is miles of water, just miles.
Oh God, dude,
it's making my butthole clench as I talk.
I've never gone on a cruise because I think of that.
I went on a cruise. And I was terrified because it was up in Alaska, and I was like. I just remember that I was like semi-drunk for like 6 days because I just remember thinking, I was like, if this thing goes down. But the weird thing about the Alaskan cruise is we were always off the coast because the entire thing was like a sightseeing cruise. So I don't think we were ever more than like 2,000 feet from land. So I was cool with that. But I was always like semi-drunk or on some sedative because I was like, if this fucker goes down, man, and it's just...
Dude, if you're caught in the what is it? Is that the Pacific Alaskan waters?
Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus, dude! Yeah, you're fucked. You're so fucked. There were because we could see icebergs. Like, it's just such a difference in like technology. We were bumping into icebergs and they were shattering versus Titanic.
Oh, that would suck too because I'm like you have the icebergs and then like.
Well, no, they were hitting icebergs because they said it doesn't do anything to these ships. They're so big.
So you could climb on the icebergs, I guess, but then
you're sitting on ice. That's gonna suck all your body heat out of you. Just a block of ice.
So you'll die from exposure. Well, you'll die from exposure in the water too. But then it'd also be you'd have orcas. Dude. If I got killed by Free Willy, I'd be pissed.
Well, we were watching whales. We were whale spotting the whole time. Massive fucking they'd come up and they do that thing where they work in tandem to create a wave and it washes fucking like sea lions off icebergs and then they just go kill them.
Eat them,
You don't think they're going for just some nice tender chubby white kid? Oh, that'd be
bad. Or no, I think the worst animal you can get killed. Well, I mean, polar bears would be obviously a bad one, but also at the same time, you'd be like, at least you get to eat.
Yeah,
because they're starving. And then. No, I guess the walruses and if you got killed by anything with a tusk.
Are they carnivores? Are walruses carnivores?
but they're defensive. It's kind of like the people who get killed. The people who get killed by a hippopotamus
or like a moose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you're right. That's all pretty brutal.
A walrus tusk. It's
and it's not because they're not going to eat you. They're just going to like disable you.
They're going to kill you because of defense.
Well, no, they're not even going to go and kill you quickly. They're just going to get you to where you're disabled, and then they'll leave you. So you're going to bleed out with a walrus tusk hole. Like, that's all pretty brutal, man.
Yep.
Dude, I don't know. Middle of the ocean.
At least that never happened. Am I right? This is fun to think about.
Knock on wood, man. That anything over the ocean to me that's hell. That is hell. There's no worse of a death than that. The anxiety of that, dude. A fucking who knows what's under you? A giant squid, dude. Have you ever
giant squid?
Have you ever looked at like the subreddit submechanophobia?
No, is that like the Cthulhu culture?
No. It's a fear. Submechanophobia. It's
so that's fear
of man-made objects underwater.
Okay.
So it's like, and you won't know you have it until you go to that sub, and if it makes you fucking like vomit, then you have it. But it's like pictures of like planes at the bottom of the ocean or like sunken oil tankers, and there's just something so skin crawlingly eerie about it.
Is it because of like the hardcore or eco like logical like life going on? Because like that's like a weird one. Like if you ever look, so if you're seeing like objects underneath the ocean, then there's also the ones where it's like, supposedly civilization has passed, and then there's just like grass growing in like urban structures.
Oh yeah.
Does that freak you out, or is it just like underwater specifically?
Underwater. I don't mind about like old like ruins. No, to me there's something like romantic about that. That doesn't creep me out. No.
So I think you just hate that level
of
water.
Water. It's just water.
Atlantis is like that. If you found Atlantis, you'd be freaking out.
I would not be happy about that discovery. I would not.
You'd be like, we found Atlantis, Tommy.
I'd be like, no, we didn't. I'd be like, don't fuck, no, we didn't.
I want to forget about it.
Yeah, dude, I don't. Marcus, take the reins. I gotta go piss. Team therapy.
All right, cool. So Tommy tagged out. Guys, welcome to Tommy Kerrigan's podcast. My name is Marcus. Me and Tommy went to high school. I'm a comedian, so this is my third time on the podcast. It's super fun to talk about conspiracy theories. I hope that anyone who's followed me from this is enjoyed my content and stuff. It's a pandemic, so it's been interesting. And I'm doing outdoor shows in Maine, so if you guys are interested in live outdoor comedy, follow me on Instagram at Marcus Cardona, MarcusCardona. And then I'm also going to be working on revamping my podcast, Meme Therapy, which it wasn't the right time to release it. I recorded 3 episodes and then the protest happened, and I was like, I'm going to step away so that way audiences people can just focus on the important thing, which is that. And we got Tommy. Tommy is back in here. Okay, cool.
What
sick.
were you going off on?
I was talking about my podcast, which I delayed because of the protest, and then I'm gonna bring it back. So I need to start with.
I think you need
start working on.
Yeah, I think you need to get it going now.
Dude, I'm doing outdoor shows now in Maine because the cases of COVID are so low. So it's cool because I get to do live shows again.
You did that one recently, right?
Yeah, I did that the 14th, and then I'm waiting on a date from the lady for next month. I'm supposed to have like 2 shows, so it's gonna be fun. But it's interesting because I should, like, no matter what, podcast is just like a fun, like, creative outlet for me. But it's I think me as a perfectionist, I like want to sit down and like edit and rewatch it and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
like,
you had talked about that the first time we did this was you want it to be very produced, which is cool, man. There are a lot of them that are like that. It's, to me,
you gotta just get in that rhythm of producing. Also marketing, because I'm like marketing, because I have friends who are comedians and they do the marketing for their podcast and they're so good.
Really,
dude, Andrew Schultz's podcast, the marketing for that, like Flagrant 2, is so good.
Really,
dude, it's smart because I'm like, he does the cross platforms. He like promotes it on. It's him on Instagram is fantastic. Like, Instagram's like the big one that I think I use them for the most marketing. But I was talking with someone about this recently, where not necessarily everyone uses the same social media. Like, I still like will promote on Facebook, but that's because Maine is in New York. Maine is in New York City, everyone's on Instagram, everyone's on TikTok, everyone's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, people in Maine and New England are just on Facebook, and it's like, it's whatever. And like, cool people have Instagram, but they're basically the same thing. But
yeah,
because now Instagram because of Instagram because of the TikTok ban is it's become like the new TikTok because they have like Instagram Reels. So it's another dumb way to use that platform. It was like, all right, and dude, and I'm friends with like YouTubers who've like, made profit off YouTube and like done that success.
Really?
And dude, it's always like, I always feel like I miss out on like the algorithm or like how to properly use the platform all the time.
Dude, I'm trying so hard. I have no idea how to do. I don't think I'm any closer than I was with episode 1. My logic is just keep doing it, and it will. I don't know. It'll catch on.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Reddit strategy is also fun because I'm tried marketing my show on Reddit in Portland, Maine, Reddit for the comedy show, and it was like the Redditors of Portland, Maine were like, "You're gonna give us all COVID from your comedy show," and I'm like, "How are you supposed to control a bunch of drunk people at a comedy show?" I'm like, "What do you think happens at comedy shows that people are gonna forget about a pandemic? They're gonna just like start laughing so hard that they're just gonna start making out with strangers." I'm like, what the? I'm like, you've never been to a comedy show, sir, or ma'am. Whoever's messaging or spamming my comments, and like I got downvoted too, and I'm just like no.
You just gotta. I accept that whenever I put something on Reddit, I have to squish my own ego because I'm like, my creative work that I'm putting out here is about to be raped and beheaded and set on
Dude,
fire. Like,
dude, people are savages, and then
people
they'll
are brutal.
and then not only will they like just downvote your comment, they'll look at your other posts and be like,
they'll follow all your shit.
They'll be like, this guy posts comedy shows everywhere.
This motherfucker, he commented on Toy Story 6 years ago. Look at this fucking faggot. You're just like, I'm sorry? You're like, geez, they'll track shit down. Like, you said this in 2013. You'd be like, I was a different person. That was 7 years ago. And they're like, all right, douche lord. You're like, God damn. That's why you got to have like 30 accounts. That's what I do.
Dude, I do the multiple account thing. I think that's like some kind of weird other psychosis. To be completely honest.
Hey man, I've had 24 of my 27 accounts banned. So yeah, you got to just, I don't know. Yeah, I had done multiple accounts, and what I would do is I would post shit and then I just wouldn't look at it, so I just didn't have to see like the repercussions of my actions. I would just post shit. But yeah, I think the IP banned me because there was like one night where everything got the axe. Like all of my accounts got the axe. So yeah, I think they knew. But yeah, man, what's on the horizon for you?
Me, dude, it's pretty much in like the same boat as everyone else. Like uncertainty. I mean, jobs are coming back right now, but for my job in New York, there's some time in between. So like, I've like started learning more remote work. So I've tried figuring that out. But in terms of like comedy and entertainment,
yeah,
it's like, it's one of those cool ones where I'm just like, because the bigger platforms are just going to keep pushing like people that they already have like under their roster, I had to just like produce original content and stuff like that, which is cool because I feel like this whole pandemic, like all the audience members who I do have, people who watch my Instagram story, people who comment and stuff like that, like I'm definitely more tied into it. And I'm glad I never like my comedy set was never me as a character because, yeah, dude, it's just been like me really just being real about stuff and then trying to be funny and then just, yeah, working on that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But horizon wise, yeah, I'm trying to write some podcast stuff. After I produce some more outdoor shows, we'll see how these all go. But then there's definitely going to be a weird winter hibernation because outdoor shows in Maine are going to be snow unless we have like a weird space heater, and then we have to figure out a way to get people comfortable going inside at a comedy show. And I'm just like, all right, because like that, like it's one of those like it's not worth the jokes for me, so I'm just like, all right, we'll figure out how to do this. But in terms of like what I need to do to keep like myself motivated, it's just like, yeah, I got to figure out some kind of like self work that's going to be digital. So yeah, the podcast, some sketches, and then I've started agreeing to I'm a late bloomer in the Zoom comedy thing, but yeah, they're doing an online digital show, so I'm trying to figure out that, really? And then try to find some at least through that one I can like still do comedy from the ease of just like this podcast corner that I got in my room.
I didn't know. Wait, so they're doing like comedy shows through Zoom?
Yeah, on Zoom, and then they have cool ones. So the basic Zoom shows, it's like a Zoom. It's a Zoom. So there's a host, there's a comedian, and then like when the comedian's up, they just blow their screen up so that way it's them, and then they get to do their jokes. The other one that they do is besides Zoom comedy is they rent out a space. So that way the Zoom is like broadcasted against like a comedy club back wall.
Okay.
But then like it's hard for the comedian to see them. I saw one super cool. It's like the Secret Show in LA where they have they projected like on like an IMAX screen, so it's like surrounded like the people watching it. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's like a cool way to do comedy.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm just like, all right. But it's supposed to like kind of create like the live audience interaction comedy experience.
Yeah.
And then people are recording their specials that way.
Really?
Yeah. There's probably one good Zoom special, which is Nori Davis, but like, you know, it's new technology and people haven't figured out how to do this. So like the audio is weird. The laughs are like they have like digital bites. I'm just like, all right, it's whatever.
It's definitely not real life, man.
Dude, it's all Black Mirror.
Yeah. I mean, what a better way to, make us grateful for when shit goes back to normal. Just little shit that you never thought of.
When shit go, dude, we're survivors. Remember, we were like, I don't want to survive because of all that trauma. I'm like, comedians survived Zoom shows. People survived watching Zoom shows. Dude, my favorite thing is people like just everyone who felt like technology was bad having to deal with Zoom, because I'm like, Zoom is definitely fucking up people's like jobs and stuff like that, and how they operate in the office.
Yeah, I wonder how much shit can ever go back to normal, even when COVID's gone or there's a vaccine. How many people have shown that they're like, yo, I don't need to be in an office. Like, you don't need me there. Fuck you. I don't need to be wearing a tie. I don't need to come and stand by the water cooler. Like, I can do this at home. Yeah, man. I was going to say, you're saying, we're survivors. I mean, our ancestors blacked out their windows with curtains so that, or in Europe, so that the Nazis couldn't bomb them. We have to do Zoom comedy shows. It's pretty much the same thing. It's the same level of hardship and bravery, right?
Yeah.
Fighting the Nazis and Zoom. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you think it is going to go back to normal?
Nope, absolutely not.
Never?
Dude, I mean, it depends on what you mean by back to normal, but I'm like, eventually there's going to be like there's going to be, because I'm like, no matter what, we're going to have to, when I was talking with someone about the vaccine, and I'm just like, oh, do you think it's going to come in gummy form? It's like, no, it's going to be like a bunch of shots, because I'm like, there's 7 different strains of COVID. So I'm just wait, you mean I had to get 7 shots? And they're like, probably. I'm just like, fuck.
I'm gonna do it. I don't give a shit.
And then, dude, it's gonna be like the flu shot, but you're gonna have to have it stricter than the flu shot, because just the way that it spreads. I'm just like, shit. I'm like,
I'm gonna do it. I don't give a shit if Bill Gates is shooting a chip into me. I don't care. I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You can try.
Dude, I know.
Give me back my life. I don't care.
I'm still zombie apocalypse. Well, dude, it's pretty normal in Maine. Like, but that's because Maine, again, like, where it's already socially distanced. I in all honesty, I think once the winter hits in Maine, it's probably going to be back. It's going to be super low cases, because Mainers don't want to go out anyway during the winter. So it's just like, it's an added incentive from the environment.
Yeah, man. It's definitely, it's weird. It kind of has that same, you cool doing like 8 more minutes, stop at 3:30?
Yeah, that's fine.
I got 3:22. I always ask for weird times for people. I'm like, can you do 7 more minutes? And they're like, I guess. I'm like, great.
Yeah, dude, I'm chilling, man.
If you do exactly 11 minutes, that would be great. Yeah. It's it kind of makes me think of like Chernobyl. Like, or any irradiated area where it's like there's an invisible thing. It's not like you can't go there. It's on fire. It's not that. It's a place that looks like Chernobyl, like Pripyat, Ukraine. Like, there's stuff grown in, and you got the creepy like swing sets and the empty schools, and but it just kind of looks like people disappeared. But it's not like creepy. There's vines and there's tall grass, but ultimately it doesn't look weird. It's just like you can't go there. You get a dosimeter, and it's, you hear the crackling. That's kind of what COVID is. Like, if you look outside, like, it looks like a normal fucking August day, right?
Yep.
It's just a normal day.
It's the invisible enemy.
Yeah, it's the invisible enemy. Yeah, man. What do you think? What do you think Trump's next thing is going to be? What's the next thing that's going to take the reins of the public consciousness? Do you think Biden's going to win?
Dude,
I think he might. I think enough. I don't think there's ever been people that have hated a president so much.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Because I'm just like, well, after like the USPS postal service like war and stuff like that. That's the one where I've seen more people switch sides.
Yeah,
but it's still one of those things where it's always about specific states. I'm just like, I'm looking at Florida, I'm looking at like the Midwest, like all the ones where like the votes, because I'm like, the electoral college system's still trash, but
it is. I've adopted that mindset in the last like couple of weeks.
I've looked at those ones because like I can vote in New York because of my work and taxes, even though I'm staying in Maine.
Yeah.
So that's like a dumb one that because I'm like, my vote would count more in Maine than in New York. So I'm just like, I'm still doing it in New York. I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, I don't think the Electoral College is the way to go. As you know, with my 30 years in political science, I just.
But yeah, no.
At a certain point, it's just like
Florida is the big one, and then the Midwest, and I'm like, they're still like higher Trump by like such a small percentage, because all I know is I'm never going to be cocky in voting or statistics politically after 2016. Like my ego in understanding politics and knowing what everything is shattered from that
year. I didn't vote in 2016. I voted in 2008 and 2012. I didn't vote in 2016. My life was upside down.
Yeah,
that was definitely something where it was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, well, dude, at least your life was upside down, and then you're just like, well, at least I didn't contribute to this. It was just bad. So, well, I mean, this is also the other thing too, because I'm like, I feel like everyone who's like complained about like the pandemic like ruining their lives, I'm just like, well, I've always kind of been like a doomsday, like worried about the end of the world stuff. Like I was always like, people need to care more about the environment, and then on top of the pandemic, all this stuff is happening, but obviously everyone just cares about like the economic solution and then like the social solution. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. We're definitely at like this is what I imagine it probably felt like in the 60s and 70s. Like I always used to look back at those times and I was like, you can almost, if you just look back at old like videos or even pictures, it's just like you can almost feel like the tension in the air just looking at them. You got these like World War II vets, and then you've got these long hair Beatles singing like LSD hippies, and then you got Vietnam, you got Kent State, everyone's on heroin or cocaine, everyone's smoking pot, society's dissolving, the president takes a bullet to the head, there's nukes pointed at each other, and you're just like, how the fuck did there's Woodstock, and then you're like, we somehow, Nixon resigns, we somehow got out of that. I think they'll look back at this in like 30 years and be like, Trump was president, there was a pandemic, there was fucking riots in the streets, and all the while there's just the jesters on Zoom and Skype like just dancing along.
Well, dude, we were talking about that over like me and my family were talking about that over dinner and like the pandemic and like what kids should do about college and whatnot. And then my grandma, she's like 91, she like leans in and was like, well, before the war, I'm just like, oh fuck. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Ace card.
All my good points that I was gonna make just got really shattered because I can't beat the war.
She just dropped 4 aces. She's like, well, you know, when Hitler was in power, it's like, all right, Grandma, you win.
She's like, you know what? At least you guys had insurance.
Before we dropped the nuke on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like, okay, all right, Grandma, all right, nice flex, you win. Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you know, oh yeah, my arm still glows at night for some reason.
Yeah. Well, you know, when we learned about 6 million people being incinerated, all right, Grandma, you fucking win. All right. Just saying.
No, that's all I've learned. I'm just like, shit, I'm never gonna. I'm like, even though I complain, I'm like, this isn't the worst thing that could happen. I'm like, I'm just unemployed back at my parents' house, and I'm getting paid to do it. So I'm just like, okay, fine.
Sometimes you just got to open up and take the slice of humble pie. You just go, all right, again, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, it's so crazy, the pandemic, and then it's like, no, it's not. It's really not. It is, but it isn't.
Especially, like, obviously politically, I'm like, it's really bad because we don't want any more. We literally are trying to climb out of a recession and amongst other things, and like, you know, our freedoms being
slowly eroded,
and then a huge civil rights movement. You know, it's a weird casual crossover, but in terms of like the overall tragedy, I'm like, we're not at war right now. No. Like in a big like
relatively, it's like, I mean, as far as like human history goes, I mean, like, including everything to like lions eating your family, like, it's not that, like, it's pretty good. I'm in an air conditioned room right now, drinking ice water, talking to you over a stable internet connection, doing a podcast. It's okay.
Exactly.
There's no Nazis. Knock on wood. Not a lot of Nazis marching, but it's I don't know, Marcus. Got a minute?
They're gonna get the pandemic. They're gonna get COVID, so it's fine because they don't wear masks because they're American as fuck.
Yeah. Did you see that? Yeah. I gotta love those pictures of people like posting without wearing a mask, and they're like, "I'm not a bitch," and it's like, that's not how this works. God damn it! Like, I beat up COVID, dude. I'll fucking whip COVID's ass. Marcus, let's wrap this bitch up. You got any predictions for the rest of until you come on again?
Man, dude. So I'm doing fantasy football like a fucking idiot on Sunday. I'm still doing a draft. I predict the Patriots with Cam Newton are gonna rock the NFL.
Wait, the Patriots get Cam Newton?
Yeah, because Tom Brady's now a Buccaneer. So.
Wait. Really? I know Tom Brady left. I don't pay attention to sports, but I am from New England. Wait.
Yeah. But Cam Newton's on the Pats, so that's gonna be a fun season. Yeah.
I didn't know that. When did that happen? Because I know Brady, again, as someone that doesn't pay attention to sports, I do know that obviously I know Brady left. That's like that was a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, Cam Newton was probably like I want to say like month 2 of the pandemic, and I'm like, cool, this is like it was like it's Tiger King, and then we got Cam Newton. Now like, okay, joy.
Okay, well that's cool. That's cool. All right.
But I think that the Patriots this year are gonna mix things up. That's my only prediction that I have.
That's all more. That's more than I want, because you got to remember. I lived in Atlanta. It was so sweet when the Patriots beat the fucking Falcons. That was so.
I'm like, because the Falcons have had just talent. They've had Matt Ryan, but they haven't ever excelled in.
They got kind of close.
Because I'm like, at least my favorite is I never have issues with Atlanta Falcons fans. I always have issues with Baltimore Ravens fans because I'm like, they're usually like our one curse. Yeah. And then Philly fans.
Giants.
And then I get to laugh in the face of Giants and Jets fans every year back to back.
Yeah. I'm torn. I kind of want I love Tom Brady. Like we got to experience what like no one ever gets to experience.
We got to experience a decade of the champ.
Almost 2 decades. Almost 2 decades. That was 19 years. That wasn't a decade. That was 9 appearances, 6 wins. Like you don't get that. Like
it's okay. I mean, it's never gonna be for me. Tom Brady and Teddy Bruschi, that combo.
Yeah, early 2000s.
That's never gonna be beaten.
No, the snow games, beating like Peyton Manning and shit on the Colts. Yeah, that was classic. Yeah. That was Rodney Harrison. You couldn't the Randy Moss season. But like part of me I have nothing in my heart but love for Tom Brady. That being said, fuck him for leaving. So like I don't know if I kind of want him to win one just so he can go win one somewhere else and say that it is Brady, not just Bill Belichick. But part of me wants to be like, fuck you. I hope the evil empire. I hope the Patriots win this year just so everyone's like, fuck, they got rid of Tom Brady and they're still win. Like, oh no. Because Belichick, he's not physically on the field. So he can go to like Lou Holt's age, right? Yeah. So if Belichick wins this year without Brady, I just want to see the asshole of every NFL fan puckering like, oh God, this might not be over.
It's just the franchise.
It's just they got rid of the old guy, brought in a not kind of young buck, but
dude. Cam Newton's young. Cam Newton runs the ball, so that's why I'm like, all right, cool. This might have a different edge. I'm like, he's not gonna have the arm of Tom Brady, but he'll have the coaching. I'll be pissed if the Patriots and Belichick still run their usual. We're gonna wait till the fourth quarter to really
change everything. Yeah, we'll wait. Yeah, we'll wait until week 8 before we turn on the gas, and it's just like, you motherfucker. Yeah,
dude. No, that's pretty much it. I'm like, even though the Patriots win, I'm like, you don't understand the anxiety of the first half of the game where we're down, and it's just
that's what me and my dad were saying last year. We're like, despite all the Patriots wins, there's never been like a decisive season. There's never been like they're the best. Well, there was one, and then they lost. Yeah. But like no Super Bowl they've ever won. No, they've never won or lost on like a decisive big dick energy. It's always been like, just your pants, barely get by the line and win. Yeah, I hope the Patriots win just so it's just like, oh no, this isn't over yet. I hope
just to disprove all the haters.
Yeah, that he doesn't need Brady. Yeah, you know what? I love Brady, but I kind of hope he gets like Michael Vick. I hope he gets like a shattered femur in the preseason. Fuck you, Brady.
I was like, there's a couple different routes he could get Michael Vick. I'm like, what? Start a dogfighting arena?
Maybe, man. Maybe shout out Atlanta, Mike Vick. Yeah, man. I don't know. I kind of hope Brady gets his leg shattered. Just like I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know why he had to leave. He's got all the money in the world. I'm definitely butthurt about that. Yeah, I kind of want Belichick to go win like 14 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like,
that's pretty much it. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much my only prediction.
That and let's hope that. I hope that there is a like an undeniable UFO sighting. I hope it's like live streamed on like Instagram, fucking Twitter, like. I hope it's live streamed. I hope there's like 100,000 videos. It can't be denied, and I hope the president has to like acknowledge it. Like world leaders.
Yeah, dude. I hope Mars attack is the end of the world.
Just hope wrap this bitch up. Just like just UFOs come at it. Yeah. I think it might have to be.
Or no, can you imagine take us to your leader and we bring aliens to Donald Trump?
Yeah, and it's just like take us to your leader and it's like right now or like
dude, and I'm telling you it's gonna be Mars attack and it's gonna be like the aliens meeting Jack Nicholson as president.
Jesus. Or do you think AI, do you think hyper intelligent AI emerges and just takes over the world?
Before that, do I think robot? I'm rooting for the robots.
So am I. I think it's our only hope. I do. I think it's our only hope.
I'd rather be replaced by robots. I'm just like, all right, we're gonna be efficient and change the world because everyone's always like, oh no, human flaws are what makes us human. I'm like, well, that's also what's killing the planet.
Yeah, human flaws suck. It's like when people look back on their life and they're like, if I had to do it all again, I wouldn't change a thing. And I'm like, that's a fucking lie. I would change everything. There are a lot of people that have died in my life. There's a lot of mistakes I have made. I would change human flaws make us who we are. No, they're not. They're what lead to genocide. They're what lead to global warming. That's what leads to holes in the ozone. That's what leads to deforestation and wiping out species and 2 billion people a day without enough drinking water. No. Human flaws suck balls. Sorry, I know I'm keeping you. That's one thing I talked to my older brother about the other week. I was like, I hope hyper AI emerges, and I hope that it treats us almost like kids. I hope it just like disarms all weapon systems. It just automates with like solar power. It just automates everything, and we all just kind of get like. You don't even need UBI because like money will no longer be a thing. Just kind of food and water, and everyone's free to just kind of like fuck and create.
Yeah.
And we just have it just Earth turns into a daycare, and we no longer there's no such thing as like war, and everyone just kind of like writes and fucks and psychedelics are legal. I don't think that's gonna happen though. But it might.
Hey, we'll see. It might.
Hey, man, if there's anything that's going to get us out of, like the human grip on power and control, we have to step out. It's like, was it Einstein that said, the same mind that causes a problem can't get us out of that problem?
Yeah.
I don't think the human mind can figure out the human problem because it will always, every revolution, someone will always get in power and then they'll get that insidious, like, ooh, now I want to fuck kids. Like, they'll turn evil. I think we need an AI that does not have human emotion, and it's just like what is it, Bill Hicks? It's the purpose of life is not to consume and to work and consume. The purpose of life is to create and share. I think that's what it is. Whether or not it happens, I don't know, but hopefully Bill Belichick beats the fuck out of the NFL and Tom Brady shatters both his femurs. So I hope Tom Brady gets paralyzed on the field. I hope.
Damn.
I'm going balls
Savage.
deep. I'm going balls deep. I hope. Yeah. I hope the Buccaneers plane crashes into a fucking mountain. Yeah.
Hey man, now at least now we know the vibe for Tommy.
Yeah, hey man,
he's gonna go out. He's not gonna survive.
Hey man. I hope the Red Sox win, the Bruins win, the Pats win, the Celtics win, and no mercy. No mercy. Yep. Sacrifice Tom Brady. You gotta show our true colors. It's you're with us or you're dead. on that happy note, Marcus Cardona, meme therapy. I'll post your Insta, your Twitter, your YouTube, your dick pics, your OnlyFans, and
hey, what's up? Yo, the dick pics. Sorry for the low pixelation. That's just who I am.
that's the low thread count dick pics. It's
Anyway, guys, thank you, Tommy, for having me.
Hey,
it's
man,
always fun to talk and then chat about the world
as
that we're
always,
surviving.
man. I love having you on because you're the only person that's as kind of nihilistic and as dark as I am. And I like it. I can let out I don't have to put on a fake face of like, maybe happiness is around the corner. You're like, I think Revelations is coming true. I'm like, thank you. Yes, where is the 66-foot tall beast who can look around in the hologram of the mark of the beast?
I'm just writing 666 because I just want to make sure that he doesn't get lost.
Yeah, just 66. Yeah, you're right. It's
here. Start here, please.
Start here. Bring your big leather wings and your cloven feet. Hail Cthulhu and Cthulhu, and I don't know. Yeah, let's bring about 1,000 years of darkness. So,
all right, I'm out.
Marcus, thank you, brother, and thank you for doing it on short notice. That was badass. Thank you very much, and can't wait for next time, brother. Stay safe, Marcus.
All right,
peace, dog.
Stay safe, Tommy. Bye.
Peace, buddy.